Hey, this is Janetta, and I have a big surprise for you. You know, I've been doing a lot of things politically, telling you about Africa, but I thought I would change my tune this morning. I changed my tune today to bring you some insight about two handsome young African American men that have decided to come over here and to make a home in Africa, in Tanzania right now, because we're in Tanzania. But they have some great ideas of opportunities, and they are just looking forward to forging a new life in the homeland. And I want you to talk to them today, give you an opportunity to meet them and get their ideas, because we need more young men coming over here with ideas and plans. We have a lot of women traveling to Africa and to other places, and we want to inspire you young men that you can do the same thing too. You can definitely come over uh, and support yourself. There's some things you can do. I'm not saying you can have a job over here, but I'm saying there's ways to make an income, and you can find a way. But you need to have some little bit of money before you come over. You just can't
True.
come with empty pockets. You have to have something to sustain you and to help you go forward. So now I'm gonna stop talking so much. Ooh, yeah. I'm going to introduce you, first of all, to David Wallace. And David likes to be called David, so we'll call him David. You might know him as David Wallace. He came here from Las Vegas, Nevada. But I think David is really a New Orleans young man. And when he talks, you'll see that. And then my next guest is Billy East. What an interesting name. Billy East from South Bend, Indiana. So it's going to be a nice show. So you just hang in there, because we're going to talk to them. And maybe in talking to them, it will encourage you and inspire you to, hey, come over to Africa. It's nice. Now, David is single, and so is Billy. So they talk like single men. And so I'm just letting you girls know that they're single. Hey, and I have to ask them, David,
Man.
David, what are you thinking about Africa, and why did you come to Tanzania? What were your thoughts about making a change, coming to Africa?
Well, the first part was I just wanted to get out of the States. Um, you know, get away from the clan members, all the racism, and it's like everybody hates us. All races show some kind of hate towards us. So I was like, I'm tired of being around y'all too. So I'd rather be around people that look like me and that don't give off the same hateful energy
Mm-hmm.
as people in the States. So, I started doing research online. Like, really and truly, when I had got my passport and I was just holding it, and I've been wanting to leave the country for a long time, and I had it a couple of years. It's like, man, I've been talking about this so long, I just need to do it. And I was almost broke at the time. I was
Uh-huh.
down to like 2,100. But I'm like, I'm going. So I booked the trip, 10 days, round trip ticket, and 10 days in the hotel. Spent the whole 2,100. I'm like, I don't care if I don't eat, I'm going. I'm like, I'll find something in the hotel or something. But like days before I left, a settlement came in, 19,000, just like that, direct deposit. And yeah, hey, so I ate well. On my first trip to Africa, it was to Kigali, Rwanda, and I had a great time. It was just nice to be over on this side of the planet, on the continent, and you know, and of course, I started. I was looking forward from the beginning. So while I was there, I registered a business, and just to prepare, got a bank account, and I was just preparing. So I went back and I kept researching, but I still went back to Rwanda first just to feel it out to see for sure if I could make it there or not. But the country's small, the capital small. I felt like I was going to cap out on the business that I was trying to do. Mm-hmm. So that's why I flew from Rwanda to uh, Kilimanjaro right here in Tanzania, the Kilimanjaro airport, because I did my research on Arusha too. I saw it was situated between three large cities, and I lived in a bunch of large cities in the states: Chicago, Atlanta, New Orleans, not that big but popular, Vegas, just outside LA, and Pomona. So being in a larger city really didn't draw me. So, but being here in a city about the size of New Orleans, um, you know, it felt kind of regular to me. So I was like, okay, if I want to go somewhere that's a little more live, I'm close to it.
Mm-hmm.
So and it doesn't cost much to get there, especially Nairobi.
Yeah, so you're close to Nairobi and also Dar es Salaam
Right, and Mwanza.
and Wanza. Yeah, so that was your first introductory into. Now I want to ask you this because I know there was a certain way I felt when I got off that plane. It just felt like I was at home. I had no feeling of really newness. I didn't know where anything was, and I didn't know anybody, but I felt like I was at home. I didn't feel like a stranger. What about you?
I think about that a lot because I hear that a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I actually had that feeling.
Uh-huh.
I feel like since I moved around so much in the States, it just felt new to me. And it was like, I'm somewhere else now.
Uh-huh.
I'm here, I'm not, but I was one thing for sure. I wasn't worried about, you know, racism, uh, being targeted to, be put in jail or
Yeah.
robbed or anything like
That
that.
wasn't any of your fears.
No, I didn't have any fears.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any fears at all.
Uh-huh.
There were a lot of beautiful women there. There are beautiful women there.
Uh-huh.
And, it was just cool. It was just relaxed.
Uh-huh.
I could let my spirit settle, I don't have to be looking around and fearing and wondering if I have to respond or react to
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
It was just calm and nice. And one of the funniest things about being in Kigali at that time, uh, I know you know the couple,
Yeah.
the Muslim couple that travel.
Oh yeah, they're in
I think they're
they're in
Mombasa now.
they're in Mombasa. Yes,
What's their
I
YouTube channel? You know?
the traveling
And that's how
uh,
close I've gotten to it. I'm
yeah,
sorry we'll put it in there. But
traveling residents or something like
okay,
that.
so a friend of mine told me about them before I went.
Uh-huh. I met them when I was at the
Right,
Mombasa.
I stayed at the B&B a couple of times in Kigali.
Oh, okay.
But how I met them, I knew about them already.
Uh-huh.
But I was in Kigali. I was at one of the malls. I was in a little pizza shop, and I heard a guy speaking. I knew it was American accent, and then I saw him. Like, man, he looks familiar. And it turns out it was the guy my friend told me to look at on YouTube, and it was the brother. And I stopped him.
Uh-huh.
We talked for a while. His wife was getting something done, and we still talk today. But it was good to see him and talk to somebody that was from over there that that got out, and it was just a nice thing. But overall, I mean, the feeling was just like stress free.
Uh-huh. That's the main thing.
Right.
And what about you, Billy? I mean, you're over here and you've learned to speak the language, and yours is quite a different experience over here.
Sure.
But let us know what was your how did you what was why did how did you come over and why did you come
So Africa's always been in my heart. My dad has always instilled that in us, and I think it was just natural, natural for me. I've always studied ancient texts and ancient things, and they always led to Africa as well. And Africa's just always been on my heart. I always wanted to get home. I think most of us want to come home, whether we admit it or not, but I think most of us want to come back. African Americans specifically, I
over?
think we want to come home because we carry a lot of pride that's from Africa.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of things that we do symbolically
Yeah, we
that's
don't
from
know
here.
it.
Yeah, that's from here. So,
Yeah.
but I had the opportunity to take Kiswahili
Uh-huh.
2 years ago. Was Yeah, 2 years ago, and one of the requirements was that I do 3 months of Kiswahili in the States at the school that I attend. Goshen College is a private Mennonite college in northern
Uh-huh.
Indiana. So the requirement was 3 months of Kiswahili, and then afterwards, 3 months of Kiswahili and learning the history actually in Tanzania. In Tanzania. So that was actually kind of difficult for me getting in that program because I'm an older student. Not It
Uh-huh.
ain't necessarily just being an older student, but I worked at Goshen College. One of the
Mhm.
reasons I took this job working there was they paid for my school. So my entire time I've been working there the last 5 years, all my schooling has been free.
Uh-huh.
So, but this program didn't cover this program. So I had to find the money through all these different grants, and I found like $42,000.
Uh-huh.
I had help with financial aid,
Uh-huh.
but I got about 20 of it on my own, just writing grants or whatnot. So that was a kind of a challenge for me coming out here, but it worked out.
It worked out.
It worked
Now,
out.
have you completed your courses or?
No, I still got about a year in school. I've completed my that program is called the SST.
Mm-hmm.
So it stands for Study Service Term. So the school been doing this for 50 years. If you take a language of any sort, you can go spend a semester in whatever country that language is.
Oh wow,
Yeah. So
what an opportunity.
right. And they've been doing it for 50
Oh
years. And
my.
so the so that program has been in Tanzania for almost 30 years.
Oh
So my
wow.
professor and the lady, and I can't even say her name right now, Jane, she been coming here. She got her doctorate at Dar es Salaam.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of interesting coming here in this program and the way that I came and kind of following their footsteps and seeing their tracks
Uh-huh.
here, that they left behind was really interesting. I mean, they've been documenting a village that I stayed in, not too far from, but it's a few hours from Mwanza. It's called Kangesi,
Uh-huh.
and the village is about 200 years old. But they've been documenting their history. It's a small village, but it's way up in the Mar region in the Serengeti, where the animals used to be over there
Mm-hmm.
till they started moving. Then animals went further up north in the Serengeti. But yeah, so that's why I came here through that program, which is quite different. I've traveled around the world. I've traveled around the world before in my life, and usually it's like a tourist. Usually, like a tourist is different than
Uh-huh.
when you study the language and the history, and then you go into a place. It's a kind of a different, as separate, because I was constantly what term I'm trying to use. I've been constantly been integrating
Uh-huh.
into the my experience here and whatnot. My initial experiences when I first got here last year, as soon as I touched down, like when we got in the airport, I flew into Dar es Salaam, and I couldn't wait to get out the airport to get out, and I finally got out, and that was surreal. That was definitely like a first time. Like I can't even really explain it. Like I was kind of lost for words, and it wasn't like this overexcitement. It was a very subtle, quiet thing going on inside me, but I could feel it. It was strong, and I was, you know, I didn't know what to, I didn't know how I was feeling. I was quiet until I was zipped. As soon as we got to the ground, I was just completely. I couldn't believe I was in Africa.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It is kind of David said he didn't really experience some of the things we're saying. I mean, but I think maybe we all experience it in a different way. We express it a different way.
Sure.
But I think that thing that I like David says, finally I fit. You know, someplace that I'm coming to that I know that I'm not concerned about whether I'll face prejudice and all those kind of things we
Sure,
think,
sure.
you know. But to inspire, there's so many avenues people could come over. You and David came on different levels,
Sure.
and David actually came to try to find out about a business. And David, how is that going for you?
It's going great.
Uh-huh.
I should have my residency and work permit later this month,
Uh-huh.
and I'll be able to legally do all the business moves I want to do.
Uh-huh.
I want to get into all of them on air, but opportunities fall out the sky,
Yeah.
and especially if you're dealing with the right people, you can definitely get something done. My one of my major things I really want to do is once I'm started and stable with it is maybe open more private schools,
Uh-huh.
because the public schools out here are super subpar.
Yeah.
As far as especially in the treatment of girls, how they make them cut their hair to go to school.
That's part from colonialism.
Right, and not only that, how Miss Mama Juno told us about like how they don't start teaching English until like the 7th grade.
Yeah, and then they're forcing you to do
Secondary.
English. It's very difficult for them.
And if they don't cut it, it's back to the village. Where
Yeah.
if you make it, they promote you on.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's stuff like that that I really don't appreciate, and I would like to, play
Yeah,
my
that's right.
part and helping them get beyond that.
And one of the other things, if you notice, that many families send their children to the public schools, and that a lot of the schools are boarding schools. And we're not very familiar with that in America. Most of our boarding schools are for
Sure.
very wealthy people,
Sure.
Right.
or people that might have some kind of disabilities, like mental. They need special teaching. But there's not too many children separated from their parents. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but their reflection of who they are as far as African, or what they had, their history and who they are. It's not something, if you talk to one of these children, they're not really able to say a lot about their culture, their history. Many of them say maybe a little about their tribe. But have you found that, or maybe that's just my experience?
That's just colonialism all over the world. But that was one of the things that I was doing in the village last year. That's why the school has been recording their data so that they can have their history. Because
Yeah.
that is a thing here too. there are things in the tribe that all the various languages and there are traditions, but there seems to be just this trend with us not having keeping our history intact in a certain way, as a whole, and here, they love their tradition and their culture, but there is that desire for a lot of the things that what they see in the Western world, as far as, you know, more fruitful economy and
Yeah, as far as the economy and things that,
yeah,
because they're impressed, they have the smartphones and they're seeing
sure,
things
sure,
far, and they don't understand how those things were attained. They just think the unfortunate things. When I talk to some of them, they just feel like Africa, we're just not as smart as other people. That's
who's
why. That's why they feel like a lot of them you talk to, several of them I've talked to,
mhm.
is like the West
So
world. Yeah, it's more advanced because, we're not as smart as they are.
Well, this what I tell them, and some I've heard that too. I've heard both sides, but I started to realize as I've been integrating here that our definition of advancement is based in technology,
Yeah.
and that's another colonial concept because what I find is that the heart here, the family structure, I find that other things here are more advanced than us,
Yeah. For one thing
like
here,
actual human qualities.
well, for one thing here, I don't mean to interrupt you, but for one thing here, if a girl gets pregnant here by a boy, by a young man, he has to address her family.
Hmm.
He has to let her family know what his intentions are.
Hmm.
They get angry with him, they get angry about it, they get upset. But one example was this Maasai young man, him and his girlfriend, she got pregnant. They called him in. He had to put up some money because he didn't ask for her hand. So when that baby was born, he had to come up with a couple cows and
Sure,
whatever.
sure,
So that's their tradition. So it's not just hello, goodbye. You got pregnant, and I don't have anything to do with it. But I'm talking about real families. I'm not talking about. We have some broken families here too.
sure, sure. Of
We
course,
don't have. We have some broken families that they don't. They're not able to follow tradition because
sure.
they're broken families.
Yeah.
But basically, major families, you do not ask. You cannot ask the girl to get married to you unless you talk to their parents and then family. They have a whole procedure that you have to do before you can say, well, we're getting married. Just before we say we can get married.
Hmm.
But at home in the United States and the culture we come from,
The
the
family's being
European culture,
destroyed.
the family has nothing to do. You marry who you want to marry.
Yeah, the
You
family
don't have to
is.
say anything to them.
Yeah, and here, family is everything. Like the elderly and children, there's a high level of respect here compared to where we come from.
Yeah.
The level of respect for seniors and children and how children are safe. Where we come from, we don't have since they brought us over there, or however we got over there, they brought us over there. For 800 years, we have been kind of tormented and suffering and in this space where we don't know what can happen to us any day. We can't trust our own kind. We can't trust the other kind. And to be here and the level of like you talked about, the level of like safety for kids that I see, like ain't no way no way kids can walk as freely as they do here, and others, which in America would be considered strangers, would protect them as their own. And I've been seeing that, and it's really like it's changed me quite a bit, to be honest. Like there's a lot of things here that I feel is important that the world needs to learn, especially the
Yeah,
world in America.
here, the families don't worry so much about child molestation
Not that that don't
and
happen, because it
mistreatment. Not
happened.
that it
Yeah,
doesn't happen, And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not like it is
That's right.
in the United States. And
For one, everybody, there's no strangers and your neighbors. Like in
no,
America, people, if they found the neighbor dead in the house. It was about 2 weeks, but didn't nobody go knock or check.
yeah,
That
no,
don't happen here. If you
no,
gone,
no.
somebody want to see, check on you and see if you're okay. And
They,
it, to me, the community that in America, people talk about community a lot and stuff, but being here, I started to feel like, and I ain't trying to throw shade, but I think our concept of community kind of a show.
well, David, what are your feelings? What is your outlook? What do you think? You haven't been as much in the community because you've been working, and you came back, and you've been some time here. But what have you seen that you think is different? I know you mentioned the beautiful women, and yeah, I understand there are some beautiful women. I don't feel bad about that, and I'm happy there's some beautiful women. So tell me, what has been your approach? What do you think? How do you feel
About what
about
specific?
yeah about the community, about how you feel, how they you see the children, how you feel about the way you talk to women, and your relationship with men, the approach. How do you feel about that? What do you feel? Do you feel comfortable? Or
I mean, I'm learning the language myself.
hmm
I started when I first came over here, um, but I have a instructor now, and I'm still picking it up. But I'm not as well learned to really, just hold a conversation with people that don't know English
hmm
as well. But you know, being a homebody I am, I don't get out that much, and I'm definitely not really social.
hmm
So I'm more socially awkward than anything else. So I don't talk to a lot of people, but I do find a lot of people that are friendly and will, start up a conversation with me. So,
uh-huh.
I would definitely speak back, try to speak some of the Swahili I know, let them know I'm trying to learn. They always smile big when they see that. I'm trying to learn the language. Um, and, for as when I see the children, I think about it sometimes because, they're young, small, and just
They
have
seem happy.
responsibilities.
Yeah, and they seem happy, don't they?
Yeah, they do what they want, but it's like, when I see them walking the animals and stuff, they
hmm
be real young,
Yeah.
have this stick, but they know what to do. If they get close to the roadway, you see them throw the stick and make the animal get back off the road. So I'm like, they teach them and they have them responsible, really young. Um, but I haven't, I had, like I said, I don't do a lot of socializing. I talk to some people at the gym, but I haven't really got into. I haven't met people that I've seen their extended family and seen how they work together.
hmm
So I don't know it all, but I see how people interact with each other. People do take the time to speak to each other, to, I would say, I'm sure they're not looking at it like that, but from our perspective, it'd be like they're enjoying life,
hmm
instead of just existing.
Yeah, they're making the best out of what they have.
Right. And, how they deal with each other is, healthy in my
Uh-huh.
perspective, it's,
Hmm.
because it's over there, the first thing you're almost thinking is it's an argument.
Uh-huh.
But it's not like that here.
Well, one of the things, I've been here a long time, and I've really never heard anybody really argue.
Right. But
Have you?
over there,
Yeah, I've been in the trenches. I be with them close, so I've seen arguments, I've seen fights and all kind of things. But like kind of what you're saying, like the culture here, they believe that you said health. They
Mm-hmm.
believe health is afia in Kiswahili. They believe that when we see each other and we greet each other, it's like we check on each other. We check. They say this. It's like checking your pulse.
Uh-huh.
You know, you all right? How you doing? That come first. If we don't do that first, there's nothing else to really be talking about.
Because there's long greetings out there.
Yeah,
I
long
mean,
greetings,
they're good.
back and
How you
forth.
do?
Right.
How you doing? How you fine? Are you good this morning? Good as
Yeah,
that. And you say, you ask them, do you have any eggs? Do you have any eggs today? And they say a whole bunch of stuff. And you just
yeah,
say, I was just asking, do they have any eggs?
yeah, yeah.
You
And
know,
that's considered rude here,
yeah,
you
and
know,
it
because
is rude to a certain extent.
it is. But
It's
that's
very,
normal for
it's
us to
European.
just, yeah.
It's European. I mean, you go to Europe, they don't do all that. They might say hello, but they don't do all that.
Sure,
So,
sure.
the approach is, but we are, I think, from what I've seen, we're the most brash people. We go in the store and say, "Do you have this, that? Do you have this?" We don't say, "Hello, good morning. Do you have?" We very seldom do that. We just open the store door, hadn't seen the person all day or nothing. They
And
hadn't
we
seen
already
us.
planning where we headed
And in
next to,
fact,
and we on the
yeah,
time schedule.
and in fact, the person that when we come in, they say, "What do you want?" They don't say, "Hello, good morning. How are you today? How can I help you?" No, the majority of us. Now, there's some few that do that, but the majority of us just
Sure,
say, "You
it's
call
not
me on
a
the
normal
phone.
daily thing. Yeah.
You call me on the phone." I don't say, "Hello, Billy. How you doing today? So and so, so and so, so." You don't say that to me. Just say, "What you doing today? Are you going here or there?"
Yeah.
So courtesies, that's one of the things I found here, and that's one of the things I found everywhere. But I mean, Nigeria is off the rack. They speak to everybody. Everybody. Now, being single over here, I mean, just let's face it, dating is something that and I hear people say there's a difference between this woman and that woman, or this man and that man. What difference do you find in dating here, David?
Oh, man. I wasn't doing much dating over there. It's a gender war going on over there. You know, we fighting over there. We everything but hands to face,
Ain't
to
it?
face over there. You know.
But what is
I
the
speak to
reason?
I speak to a sister over there now. When I speak to sisters, it's for comedy. I just want to see the reaction. Sometimes they just stab me, and I just bust out laughing.
But what's the problem? I don't understand. I mean,
Social engineering. That's
but
I want to make sure
that
that I make
that's all part of that's all part of the plan. So we don't understand that we're actually in a plan.
right.
We're in a
Social
plan.
engineering.
Yeah.
And that I hear they have plenty channels on
Uh-huh.
YouTube and Rumble, people talking about this stuff, but that's the thing to me. To me about all that, it's like they're just making content to make content because they're only talking about the problem. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody talking about the root cause. Because if you understand the root cause,
Your
you can,
behavior change.
yeah, you'll be able to fight it better. If you see a mosquito there, you're gonna slap it, get out the way, and so it won't bite you. So, but we don't see the social engineering.
Well,
Speaking of dating women, like the more that I've been learning the language, I can talk. I can actually go into like deeper aspects of a relationship with, with African women here, permitting they only speak Kiswahili, and I told one of my good friends, I said, y'all just like black women in America. Y'all just like it's more similarities. Like you can't get rid of these things. These are inherent in the genetics. This is, and I'm like, man, we really the same, man. We
there's so much
really
about it that
it's
is
more about us the same. Now we got different cultural expressions, especially us growing up there, but we have more similarities than we do differences for sure.
yeah. What benefits do you think if you were to tell a young man or either an old man. It doesn't make any difference. Because I call everybody young now since I'm 80. But about coming over here, what would you say? I mean, because you're looking into business, and I don't know about you. I've seen so many opportunities, but you're gonna have to be flexible. You're gonna have to be determined, and it's not gonna just fall off the shelf, right?
Right. I
Business.
mean, there's a lot of things to do it. Like I was doing my research before I came over here, and there's like agribusiness. That's always a good way to go. It's
Oh
always
yeah,
gonna make money. Um, you do. People worry about getting scammed. You do have to worry about that.
everywhere you go.
Yeah. So you just got to make sure you do your research and stay focused on it and stay on top of whoever is helping you to establish your paperwork.
Hmm.
Because not anybody over here. It doesn't. You can't just say when brothers come over here they try to charge you more and all that. Anybody come over here. It doesn't matter where you're from. You could be another part of Africa.
Yeah, my grandson from Nigeria. They pump it up
Right.
when it
If
comes to
if you
price.
don't know the language, you don't know the prices. That's the first thing they're gonna do. Try to double it up on you or something like that. You know, you know, I always feel it, and being around a little while, I know some of the prices, what they should be, or what's over what they should be charging. I get frustrated.
Hmm.
I don't have enough patience
Patience.
to negotiate much. Yeah. Okay, you saying it's double the price? All right, keep it. And but even if I do, a lot of the times I come across people that are rather not sell you something than to give you a fair price.
Hmm.
So after a while, just say if you have a local with you, you could get past some of that. But after you're around a while, you learn the prices, you learn the language. You have to learn the language.
You got to.
You have to. You're always gonna get targeted in some kind of way if you don't know the language. You just need to know it. You may not always have someone there to help you or translate.
And sometimes you have somebody to help you. They're not saying what you want them to say.
Right, and or they might be helping the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
So
And really, to tell you the truth, they don't feel like that person giving you a higher price that you shouldn't pay it. They feel like you should pay it.
right,
So if their person gives you a higher price and you say, well, is that too high? I don't know. And they know it's too high,
right,
okay? But they feel like you could be able to pay it because you're rich. For one thing, you got on the plane or the train or whatever, mainly the plane, and could buy the ticket to come here. And so that makes you rich because they can't afford to do it.
Sure. But also too, this why it is important to learn the language and the history. Like that, the foundation on here is bartering. So
That's the custom.
barter and trade. It's a 700, 900 year custom to barter. And I find it that I find now that they like to barter.
Oh yeah.
And I make a joke out of it too, especially if I know the prices now. So Hapana Muzungu price. I tell them no, and they usually laugh or something. But yeah, like a lot of things last year was more challenging than this year because I learned a bit more of the language, and then I let go some of my American ways of
Yeah.
being in a rush
Yeah.
and me, and then
And having a short fuse.
yeah, and I learned to kind of relax. It's made me more human. Like it's made me appreciate people more instead of just using people. In America, I mean, I've been looking at my soul this last time here, and it's like man, I haven't lived an existence where I've truly been present with people in a certain way, and I was unaware of that. And
We don't have time for people.
yeah, we don't have time. It don't. our environment ain't even designed
Even when we go to
for
church, oh,
that.
God bless you, bye.
Yeah. And you speaking to church. So here, I've been to I don't know how many funerals and weddings. And the funeral is 6 days.
Yeah,
Everybody donate to the funeral or the wedding,
yeah.
the community. They don't, everybody's chipping in. And I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, every time we have a funeral, it gotta be quick. We don't have the money. The sermon gotta be quick because we didn't pay for enough for the headstone ain't bought yet. And here, those things are taken care of in a way
They don't
where
have
you
to
can,
ask. It's just
no,
done.
it's in the culture.
It's just
It's a custom. They say, listen, I don't care if you're a policeman. I don't care if you work in the government. If somebody in your community passed, you just like one of us. Chip in, and man, they just got some things here that like that's profound. Coming from the broken black family in America where we always need something and there's like not enough, and then there's trauma, and to see how a polisana, you know how many times somebody told me polisana, and when you start to, I'm very sorry, like when you start
Yeah.
to, for me, really receive that, understand that they're not just saying it. When we in America, we communicate, but we like robots. I'm like that in America. Hey, what's up? We just say, but people really making
They take our
contact,
time, make contact, yeah.
and it's just taught me how removed I've been, for real.
But
Because
our custom too of funerals, we don't quite do it like they do it here. But there's food involved, and things. A lot of times we do ask for the family. I think more when you get more to the city, when you're back in the country, they do more of that. But there's no
oh
other country
yeah,
I've been to that they bring food, they eat, and all that kind of stuff. When I was in Costa Rica, we do in the United States. Now they do it more at a repast and they have somebody to cater it or whatever.
sure,
But
sure,
we do bring food to that family to make sure that when people come in town, they have to eat,
yeah,
and we'll give them a place to stay or something like that. They do that here, but that's not any custom that I know of white people in the United States. And there wasn't definitely a custom of the Costa Rican people in Costa Rica, but it's a custom that we have and they have over here.
we do. You can
They
tell,
make
yeah,
sure
we
food
do,
is there, everything,
we
that
do.
kind of thing. And it's more of a family thing when a person dies. So we have a lot of things that are reflective. They're not exactly the same,
Sure.
but we see that some things come from here, come from Africa, and we need more things to come from Africa. But the men here have the same cry as men do. Yeah, I said the
Yeah.
women here, they said the guys say the women here just want money.
That's true too, but that's a call. They don't know what else to. I kind of understand. Like, I get it, and it's kind of can be annoying, but there's some women that don't necessarily want money, but that is a thing here.
In the United
That's the
States,
thing.
I hear more women saying, I don't need his money."
They saying both. They don't need money
That's what
and they
David
want. They
said.
saying
That's what
both.
David
Both
said.
extremes. At any, there ain't no in between. They go to both extremes.
Man, I look at it like just say over here where if the dudes are saying that the women just want money. But probably, I know some probably the younger women are just not at their point where they're looking
Yeah.
at family.
Yeah.
So they just want somebody to take care of them or something they can get, But, they're losing some of that too. They're losing some of that, that family nature too, in my opinion, in those instances.
You can see, yeah, you can see that here. You can see the Western and just how colonialism has affected every inch of the planet in some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, then some people come over here and how do you what's the word? They come and invest in the industry of you know just taking care of women.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, well
sure,
that's a
sure.
big thing now because I believe that women need opportunities, but over here, everybody needs an opportunity. Everybody needs an opportunity because I meet some men that could use the hand up.
That's a big deal. I didn't even realize how traumatized I am for my interactions with white police officers throughout
Yeah,
my life. Like, I'm tired. I don't even want, like, I dread even going back home because I don't even want to see them. I don't want to, most of my interactions with them, I'm not a criminal. I have not been to prison. And I think about my interactions with them was unnecessary.
yeah.
A bunch of unnecessary interactions with them that I don't need.
You don't have to
So
be a criminal. You just have to be black.
yeah. Then here I see police all the
And that used to
time.
be only
It's
men,
different
but
when
now
they
it's
look
women
like
too.
you. It's different feel.
Yeah,
You can talk to them, even though they police. You can go shoot this shit with the police officer when he out there. You can holler at him, but you don't know what kind of white man you're gonna be dealing with or what they own.
Yeah, I was looking at something that was saying a lot of the police go to Israel to get trained by them, and
hmm
they the ones train them to come back and kill us.
hmm
I believe it because it's ridiculous.
but it's been nice talking to you guys. I enjoyed it, and the video is going to be kind of long. But you know what? When you're talking about things, and especially when you're talking to Americans that can talk to Americans, you've been over here and you see some future over here. So much so, Billy, you told me you're going to go home and get your family. You want to bring your family over,
For sure.
and David is looking forward to creating another family.
Maybe.
Maybe not. He'll see. He'll see. But I'm glad to have you guys take out time to talk to this old woman that thinks she can
Of
preach all the
course.
time.
That's great. But and I want to make sure everybody knows they look my channel up. It's Ayo We Out Here.
Yeah.
AYO space WEOUTCHEA. It's the same kind of content, but I'm more focused on cultural exchange and travel.
Uh huh.
Just to show the brothers and sisters over there, you know, it ain't what they been teaching all this time.
And they don't need a whole bunch of money.
No,
They need some money, but not a whole bunch of money.
Not
Yeah.
nearly as much as what we spend in America.
No. And David, he's told about his network. Do you, Billy? David's told about his network. What are you doing that you want people to look at?
Um, oh, my YouTube channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
my YouTube channel is Genie from the East. GENIE from the East. Genie from the East. I got some content on there. I probably should update and put some stuff on there. I got some music and stuff on there, and I got more things on my Instagram. B.East. Instagram BDOTEAST. Yeah.
Yeah, all my things are the same. Ayo, we out here. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to more information about it, more of your videos. I've been looking at them, and I love the way David talks because I mean, I just like to hear his voice. He's a good voice, and great. And I'm looking forward to him because the more he learns about Tanzania and Africa, the more he'll be able to express. And Billy, we're really looking forward to you coming back again. When you come back, you said you're going to leave maybe in November. And we're looking forward to you and hope you have a great time when you go home, that you're able to influence quite a few people
Sure. Appreciate that.
to come over and to take a try.
Get in and get out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even some people
Man.
traveling over here.
Because I promise you, even when I was about to come back, I was getting nervous and anxious. Like, man, don't let nothing happen before I get home.
Uh-huh.
Straight up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, well, I'm going to say bye to you, everybody. Hey, this is Janetta, and we're on blacksetradio.com Saturday mornings, and check the webpage blacksetradio.com. They have very good programming. Now they're exploding. It's a program that we're hoping to touch the universe with music, talk shows, and a whole lot of other things. Check it out, Black Set Radio. It's on the web, so hey, it's really nice. And also check us out on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. But hey, this is Janetta. If you like this video, make sure that you say you like it and comment. If you don't agree with David, tell him. You don't agree with Billy, tell him. If you don't agree with me, keep your mouth shut. No, I want your comments. Share it, and please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. So this is Janetta. I had to do my woohoos mixed up. Let me try it again. Yeah. See you later. Hey, this is Janetta, and you're watching Africa Speak.